Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Visordown. We're out here in California for Triumph's mega Bonneville launch, where we've been riding an absolute raft of new models and updated models out here in Oceanside in California. And this video is focusing solely on two bikes. The two bikes that are in front of me here. We have got the Speedmaster just to my right, and we have got the Bobber sat right in front of me. They've both been lightly updated for 2026. It is a light touch update, but there are some important changes and there are a few nuances in the way that the things both ride that I want to go through as well. So as ever, I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to tell you what's new, and then I'll tell you about how I found them out here on the roads in California. And I promise you, we are in California. This isn't Skegness. It's just, it seems like this time of day, every day, it just gets absolutely foggy and misty. So I'm going to start with the Bobber that's in front of me now. It is 13,795 pounds. This is obviously the 1200cc. It's got the 1200cc engine, but it's got a specific tune on the Bobber, which they call it the hot rod tune, and it kind of does exactly what it says on the tin. It's all about the pops, it's all about the bangs, all about the burble, and it's all about an aggressive delivery. We've got 106 Newton meters of torque. We've got 77 bhp, which comes in at around about 6,000 RPM. The seat height is super low at 705 millimeters, and it weighs in at 265 kgs. So it is quite a lump of bike. I know it looks quite minimalist, but there is quite a lot of metal underneath you as you're riding down the road. I'm going to run through quickly the Speedmaster as well. So that is exactly the same price, which is strange because you seem to get a lot more with that. You get the pillion seat, you get a lot more chrome and all those good bits, but it is exactly the same price. It makes pretty much exactly the same power. It makes pretty much exactly the same torque, but it does make its peak torque number slightly lower in the rev range. I think 400 to 500 RPM lower down the rev range. You've got a 690 millimeter seat on that one, and it does tip the scales slightly heavier at 265 kilograms. What is new with them? Well, they've both got lighter wheels, so they've both gone to aluminium rims, which shaves about 1 kilogram off the weight of each of the bikes, and that is 1 kilogram of unsprung mass, and it's that rolling inertia, which is really, really important. If you reduce the rolling inertia, then the bike turns a little bit nicer, makes it feel a little bit lighter on its feet, so that is quite a big update. They've obviously updated all of the colours. These are the two new ones in front of me here, and for the first time on the Bobbers and the Speedmaster, you now get lean sensitive traction control and cornering ABS, which is obviously a big safety feature. You still get the same riding modes. Comfort has been updated on them both. This gets a slightly wider, comfier seat. Same with the Speedmaster. It gets a slightly wider and comfier rider seat and pillion seat. And the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that the handlebars on the Speedmaster have changed. So this bike used to have sort of these beach bars that sort of you felt like you were riding it, adjusting the throttle and controlling the clutch like this. And they've been straightened out just a little bit to make them less beach bar and a little bit more traditional, but that is still a very relaxed riding position. Ergonomically, the Bobber is exactly the same. You get full LED lighting throughout, and you also get a cockpit mounted USB-C, which is tucked up underneath the dash of each bikes. The other thing is that you can now get both of these bikes as A2 restricted. So if you're on an A2 motorcycle license, you can get a restricted kit, which I think changes the throttle twist grip on the right-hand side, reduces the power down to the A2 limit, and you can go out and enjoy these 1200cc cruisers on an A2 license, which is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. How have I found them on the road? Well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I can feel the difference of having 500 grams each end of less unsprung mass. It's not really, to find that out, you'd have to sort of test the bikes back to back with their older siblings, but they still handle exactly like the Bobber always did, and the Speedmaster. The Bobber is all about aggression, and it starts with the engine, because that hot rod tune that Triumph have put into that 1200cc power plant, it is very much just that. It gives it a really aggressive, really barky feel. You open the throttle and you get instant acceleration and instant torque out of the thing. It pops, it bangs on the overrun. The engine is saying, look at me, as you're riding down the road. We went off down Pacific Coast Highway here the other day, and we cruised down there and did some tracking video shots on the highway. And this bike does grab attention, especially here in America, where there are a lot of V-twin Harley Davidsons and Indians out on the road. A lot of people look at this thing and they've never seen one before, and they just wonder what the hell it is. Away from the engine, the riding experience of this bike in particular is very physical. It's not a bike that sweeps through curvy bends with effortless ease. You don't just think where you want it to go and it's going to go there. You have to muscle it, you have to pull it over into a corner. The bars are quite straight, you're kind of hunched over when you're riding the bike, you've got mid-set controls, so it all feels quite aggressive from the seat as you're riding the thing as well. And it is a bike that is engaging to ride because of the geometry of the bike and the way that it's set up. It kind of jumps around on the road and you do have to pull it down into a corner to get the thing into a turn. It is engaging, it's a lot of fun, but it can become quite tiring if you're going to be on a long journey because you are basically just stuck in one position. You've got no way of moving your body around to find any respite if you get any aches and pains. We did do a little bit of sort of riding out of Oceanside to get to the highway yesterday to do some video, and we'd all been riding different bikes up until that point during the day. We'd been riding the 900 Bonneville and the Scrambler 900. So when we jumped on these, they felt like these cumbersome beasts that we were trying to navigate the town on. And that is really, for me, that's the only place that the Bobber and the Speedmaster sort of fall down, is when you're riding around town and it's quite tight and nadgery and bumpy, they do feel a little bit cumbersome, and it's all down to the riding position, the weight of the bike, the way the weight is positioned and the geometry. You just have to take your time. That all changes when you get out on the road though, because when you get on the open road and you get in a set of corners, you start to throw the bike around, it becomes a completely different animal. So I've talked about the Bobber briefly, gonna move on to the Speedmaster. I rode a Speedmaster, I think the last time I rode a Speedmaster must have been about 2 to 2.5 years ago, and I absolutely loved it. And I loved it for the simple reason that it changed the way that I rode a motorcycle more than any other bike did. Because normally when I got on a bike, I want to go out and I want to ride as fast as I can and take it down my normal regular test route in the West Midlands and see how far I can push the bike. But you get on the Speedmaster and everything about it, from the relaxed riding position to the comfort from the seat to the character of the engine, makes you take a little step back. It just makes you calm down and enjoy life at a slightly slower pace. And that is still very much the case with the Speedmaster. Of the two bikes, it is obviously the much more comfortable machine to go and ride long distances on. The seat is super plush. You've got a feet forward riding position and the bars do sweep back to meet you nicely. It will corner, and it does like going around corners, but you can't corner with the same sort of urgency or speed that you can on the Bobber. Number one, you're going to be decking the pegs out left, right and centre because they're forward controls and they're quite low mounted. But number two, it's just you don't have the control through those big long bars. It feels like you're steering a motorcycle with about 6 foot of chrome pipe, which it doesn't add anything to the accuracy of the bike. But let's not take away from it. It is a very enjoyable bike to ride, and it is just about chilling out, going slowly and enjoying the character of that parallel twin cylinder 1200cc engine. And that is really what these bikes are about. They're all about the engine. The engine is on show. It's the thing that everybody looks at. And in this one, it's brash and it's aggressive. And in this one, it is much more calm, much more chilled out and much more relaxed. And that's one of the things that has sort of struck me on this launch. When I rode these two bikes and I was hopping from one and jumping on the other, when you look at the Speedmaster, you could say, well, it's just a Bobber with a pillion seat and some different handlebars on it. And while that is, it's mostly true, the changes to the engine, the changes to the riding position and the changes to where your feet are completely change the way that the thing handles. We were doing some tracking photography on the road earlier on, and I did some tracking photography on the Bobber. We went round a set of corners behind a camera car, following the camera car for the filming. And when I got on the Speedmaster, I had to tell the person that was driving the camera car that they're going to have to go a little bit slower because this doesn't quite want to go around corners at the same place as the Bobber. It was very interesting. There's not a lot technically different between them. They share the same chassis, the same suspension, the same engine, albeit with a different tune, and everything else is cosmetic, but they do handle very differently. Another bonus for this year, Triumph has also given both these bikes a slightly larger fuel tank. So you've got a 14-litre fuel tank to enjoy. I think when the Bobber originally came out, it was only a 10-litre. That went up to 12, and they've now given it a 14-litre tank, which does make longer days riding in the saddle a little bit easier. And if you are going to be doing longer days in the saddle, I would be choosing that bike. If you are going to be doing shorter days in the saddle and just chasing a bit of adrenaline, I would be taking the bobber. They've been a lot of fun to ride out here. This seems like the perfect place to come and test them. I'm not even joking when I say that the house out of Top Gun that Kelly McGillis' character was living in is literally situated there and now sells cake and coffee. It is just the perfect place to come and ride a bike. It's been absolutely fantastic. Well, listen folks, these bikes are going to be in dealerships from about March 2026. If you like what you see, head down to your local dealer, and there are also full editorial reviews of both going up on Visordown.com. From me, out here in California, that has been enough. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please like and subscribe if you had, and for all the latest news, reviews and motorcycle features, get yourself over to Visordown.com.